Okay, guys, thank you for listening to the World Cup synopsis there. But now I want to just throw some football news to you before we get into the deep international program. Because as you know, all around the world, international teams are now in the starting phases of the final phase of qualifying for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. One thing I want you to remember, and a lot of you, I hope, do know this, but there's going to be some of you will say, "What? What?" Now here's the deal: the next World Cup is not coming off in the summertime. I hope you guys realise that, right? You got to understand that they're playing the next World Cup in the Middle East. It starts in November and finishes in December 2022. Okay? So just remember that. And I know your TV stations and your sports stations and your football stations haven't said a bloody thing about that. But believe me, November, December 2022, that's when it's happening. Wow. A lot of dust in the studio tonight. Oh, by the way, we got to thank T Money in the studio for all the great button pushing brilliance. T Money is our producer here at the Ultimate Soccer Show. Always was, always will be. Thank you, T Money. Now, moving on, guys. Okay, getting back to it. Like I say, lots of football news coming through. This is the EPL sort of look at things going on, and a little bit on the side of it. Now, uh, Mbappe is not going to Madrid. In case you didn't catching up to it, it was a case of that. You know what? The money was there, but nobody wanted to get it done. So at the end of the day, things were stalled. You always knew Mbappe was staying in Paris, and let's face it, they're going to wipe the floor in France. Question is, though, can they win the Champions League even with Lionel Messi? If they do not win the Champions League in the next 2 years, that is absolute terrible business. But I'll tell you this, as a football connoisseur and a lover of the beautiful game, I would love PSG to fail in Europe for the next 2 years, just purely for the beautiful side of football where anybody can win, where money doesn't dictate who gets to pick up the cup. But in all reality, with PSG's talent, they're probably going to win the Champions League once in the next 2 years, wouldn't you think? Hey, you know what? Email Steve at theultimatesoccershow.com and let me know. One more time, email Steve at theultimatesoccershow.com and let me know. Or let me know who you think is going to win the Champions League or even the Europa League. So, you got the email, Steve at theultimatesoccershow.com. Send me an email, and I'll be reading out the recent emails towards the end. Okay, guys, a few little things. West Ham have signed Vlasic, the Croatian midfielder, so that should give them a bit more depth in midfield. Not that they're lacking, but I tell you what, West Ham, David Moyes, uh, that's a great fixture. They've really just progressed from year to year, and remember, Dave Moyes left West Ham and then went back. So yeah, great stuff. West Ham, good picture. And I'm Forever Blind Bubbles singing loud and clear the last game they were playing, that's for sure. Moving on, Everton striker Keane rejoins Juventus. You know, feel sorry for that guy. It's like he's talented, but eventually he's got to start putting down cement and roots and make a name at a club. Otherwise, he's just going to be moving along all the time. Yeah, by the way, little winger James, he's close to moving over to Leeds. I tell you what, Daniel James needs to get out of Man United. Do you know why? He's not good enough to be at Man United. He's a good little player, but I'm going to say something. I've watched this guy for quite some time. He's got good feet, but I question the mental strength. Now listen, you listening now, watch Daniel James when he's on the ball, when you can see him, and ask yourself one question. Does he look a little frantic? And the look in his eyes, does he look a little lost? Does he look a little confused? Is it that football is a little bit too fast for him? Because sometimes people just don't have it to be at the Premier League level. Leeds, you might be making a £30 million mistake. But I think United would be doing well to offload him. I do not think he's Man United quality. And I think that if Leeds spend 30 million on him, maybe once in a while he's going to do something. But I think he's another one of those wingers that's pretty much not going to get it done. Just like that guy down at Southampton that was at Arsenal and never got anything done, you know. So, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Daniel James going to Leeds. Hey, Man United, get rid. That's 30 million well in the bank. And he's an international with Wales, but he's not that good. Anyway, not going to kill him. Not going to kill him. But Daniel James to Leeds. Hey, get it done, Man United. Henderson signs another deal with Liverpool. Hey, you expected that. That's got to happen, yeah? Ronaldo completes the return to Man United. Well, that was on the cards. And, hey, I tell you what, for all those Man United fans that were anxious that Ronaldo was going to go to Man City, OMG! Can you imagine how Man United fans must have felt the next day when they realised, no, he's not going to Man City. He's coming to us. He's coming to Man United. To say, if you were a Man United fan, yeah, can you imagine how Man United fans were feeling when they realised he was going to United? But can you also imagine how Man City fans were feeling when they realised he wasn't going to Man City? Crazy, crazy times. Anyway, there's a few little stories in between the international weekend, which is longer than a weekend. But remember, if you've got a question to phrase, then email steve@theultimatesoccershow.com. I will gladly get on that. And I'll tell you what, while we are in between league games, and it's the EPL Week 3 that we are stuttering at right now, going into Week 4 when we get out of the international games. But I tell you what, I am stuck in CONCACAF with Canada right now. We've got 3 games. I'm looking for 2 wins, maybe a loss. And I tell you, if we could rip the Americans on the road and maybe get 9 points, wow, I would be in dreamland. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but boy, if it did, oh, brother, that would be fantastic. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And I tell you guys, going into the the World Cup qualifying, I am stoked. And I hope you are too. And if you're not, you better be. And I'm going to be calling a few people big in the game in the next 24/7 to see how they're feeling. Tune back in. You might be interested. Okay, guys, have a great day, and don't let anyone bend it up. And hey, rest of the world, Canada's coming.